Good afternoon, everyone. Let us start. Remember, we have been learning geomorphic processes, chapter 6 of fundamentals of physical geography. Last time we discussed about chemical weathering processes. Today we shall learn about mechanical or physical weathering processes. Now let me present my screen. So physical weathering processes. So you may be knowing that weathering is the process of breaking down of a big rock into smaller pieces. And so we learn different types of weathering processes. Chemical weathering processes, then physical weathering processes, then biological weathering. So now let us learn about physical weathering processes. So physical or mechanical weathering processes depend on some applied forces rather than the chemical reaction. So those applied forces could be gravitational forces such as overburden pressure, load, and shearing stress. Then the second one, expansion forces due to temperature changes, crystal growth, or animal activity. The third one is the water pressures controlled by wetting and drying cycles. So these are the three important forces that lead to physical weathering processes. Okay. So the three forces are, let me repeat, gravitational forces, another one is expansion forces, and the third one is water pressures. These three forces lead to the breaking down of rocks. Now let us learn about different physical weathering processes. Generally, we have four physical weathering processes. Those are unloading and expansion. The second one is temperature change and expansion. The third one is freezing, thawing, and frost wazing. And the last one is salt weathering. So the first physical weathering process is unloading and expansion. So let us read. Removal of overlying rock load because of continued erosion cause vertical pressure release, with the result that the upper layers of the rock expand, producing disintegration of rock masses. Fractures will develop roughly parallel to the ground surface. So let us see one diagram. See here. Here in this case, one very big batholith. Okay, one very big batholith, that is igneous rock, is buried in the underground. Okay, several kilometers thick. It is buried, and because of this batholith, okay, is under high pressure because of the weight of the overlying rock here. And when these overlying soil materials, okay, are removed, then pressure is relieved. So in this case, erosion has taken place, and that is why the weight has been removed. Okay, that means pressure is relieved, and that is why this batholith will be expanded. Okay, see here, see the arrow, this batholith will be expanded, and because of this expansion process, so here this rock will be cracked. Okay, just along the surface, as you are seeing here, see these lines, and due to this expansion process the rock is broken. Okay, just see here, so that rock was buried in the underground, this rock was buried in the underground, and because of this weight of the soil material, it is compressed. This rock is compressed, and when this soil material is removed, when it is exposed on the surface because of erosion activity, then pressure will be released, and because of this release in pressure, there will be cracks along the surface. Okay, and this portion will be broken. So this is what we call unloading and expansion. Because of the removal of the overlying rock, okay, there will be release in the pressure, and because of that the rock will be broken. So let me show one photograph about it. See here, so this breaking of rocks, okay, in layers. See here, I think you are seeing this surface rock is breaking along this line, and this is due to this release of pressure, and this process is known as exfoliation. Okay, so due to the release of pressure, so cracks are developed along this line, and so this portion is broken. This is known as exfoliation, and it is due to a release of pressure, that is expansion due to unloading. Okay, so any question regarding this expansion due to unloading? So if you don't have, so let us continue. The next physical weathering process is temperature changes and expansion. So with rise in temperature, every mineral expands and pushes against its neighbor, and temperature, and as temperature falls, a corresponding contraction takes place. Though these movements are very small, they make the rock weak due to continued fatigue. Okay, so due to differential heating, the surface layer of the rocks tend to expand and more than the rock at a depth, and this leads to the formation of stress within the rock, resulting in heaving and fracturing parallel to the surface. Okay, so we know that when an object is heated, it is expanded, and when an object is cooled down, it is contracted, as given here. See here in this, let us say this is an object, and when the object is heated, okay, see the dotted line here, it is expanded, and when it is cooled down, it is again contracted, the volume is decreased. And you may see this object also, see when it is heated, so it is expanded up to here, then when it is cooled down, it is contracted, the volume is reduced. So this process will continue, okay, for a long time, mainly in the desert areas. You know, in the desert areas, daytime temperature is very high, sometimes reaching 50 degrees Celsius and more. and because of that temperature the rock is expanded. Okay, so this is the big rock exposed in the desert, and due to the bright sunshine, okay, so due to the bright sunshine this rock is heated and the volume is expanded, and during the night time temperature may fall up to 5 degree or 0 degree Celsius, and it is returned to the normal condition, and this process will continue, okay, every day. And because of that expansion and the contraction process, then this rock will be fatigued. Okay, so daytime it will be expanded and nighttime it will be contracted, and this process will continue for a long time. And because of that the rock will be fatigued, will be tired totally, and that is why the rock will be broken into smaller pieces. And that process is known as temperature changes and expansion. Okay, so because of this process, see some of the rocks like this, okay, see here it is broken like this. So this is because of the thermal expansion and the contraction in the desert areas. And likewise you may see another photograph also. So here you will see different cracks. Okay, this is also due to thermal expansion. Okay, making blocks known as block disintegration. Okay, so any question up to here, boys and girls? Any question regarding this thermal expansion and withering process? Okay, then let us continue. The third one is freezing, thawing, and frost wazing. Okay, let us read. Frost weathering occurs due to growth of ice within pores and the cracks of rock during repeated cycle of freezing and melting. Rapid freezing of water causes its sudden expansion and high pressure. The resulting expansion affects joint cracks and small intergranular fractures to become wider and wider till the rock breaks apart. So now let us see one more diagram here. See, it is mainly occurred in the cold areas. Okay, in the polar areas, in the cold areas. Let us say this is a block of rock, and here this is a crack, and this is another crack. Okay, so when there is rainfall, rainwater may enter and fill this crack, or maybe due to dew. Okay, these cracks may be filled with water. And during the night time, when the temperature falls below 0 degrees Celsius, the water will be frozen here. Okay, the water here will be frozen, and we know that when the water is frozen the volume is expanded, and because of that the expansion process will exert a great force on the wall of the rock. Okay, so the force is, it is said that it is 150 kg. Okay, it is 150 kg per the square centimeter. Okay, per square centimeter. The force exerted on the wall of the rock is about 150 kg per square centimeter, and because of this force, this rock will be broken into smaller pieces. Okay, in this way the rock is withered, and this is known as freezing, thawing. Okay, freeze and the thaw process. Remember, when the water is frozen, volume is expanded. Okay, volume is expanded. See, this is a glass of water, and when the water in the glass of water is frozen, volume will be expanded, and the level of the ice will increase beyond the level of the glass. So there will be expansion process, and because of this expansion process, it will exert a great force here, and because of that the rock will be broken, and this is known as freezing, thawing, and frost wazing. Okay, so we have some photographs about freeze and thaw process. See, in the cold areas, because of the freeze and thaw process, so this rock is broken, and another rock is also here. Okay, so this is another one. Because of freeze and thaw process, this rock is broken, okay, into blocks. And next we have this salt weathering. Okay, so some of the rocks contain salt, different types of salt. Okay, salt in rock expand due to thermal action, hydration, and crystallization. So in some rocks, salts are found. Okay, these salts are expanded when it is heated, or when the water is absorbed, it is expanded. And the salt crystals in the near surface pores cause splitting of individual grains within the rocks, which eventually fall off. And this process of falling off of individual grains may result in granular disintegration or granular foliation. With salt crystal growth, chalk breaks down most readily. Okay, see here, in case of salt weathering, see here, this is a rock. Okay, and see, let us say some crystals of salt are found here, and when it is heated, these salt crystals may be expanded more than the other crystals, or when the water is absorbed. Okay, hydration process will be there, and these salt crystals will be expanded more than the other crystals. And because of the expansion process of the salt crystals, this rock will be breaking down into a smaller pieces, grain by grain. Okay, grain by grain. That is known as granular disintegration. And here we have some photographs of granular disintegration. Okay, see here. So this is an example of granular disintegration. See here, grains. Okay, it is disintegrated grain by grain. I think you may be seeing grains falling nearby this rock. This is known as granular disintegration. Another example is also here from this rock. Okay, grains are disintegrated. This is what we call granular disintegration. This is due to salt weathering. Okay, and another one is also here. Okay, another one is this is also due to salt weathering process. Okay, salt was present in the holes, and because of weathering process, okay, it is removed. So any question regarding these chemical weathering processes? Sorry, regarding the physical weathering processes? Yes. Do you have any question regarding physical weathering processes? If you don't have, then let me continue. Okay, good. Then next type of weathering process is this biological activity, that is biological weathering. So let us read. Biological weathering is the contribution to or removal of minerals and ions from the weathering environment and physical changes due to growth or movement of organisms. Okay, biological weathering, that is the breaking down of big rocks into smaller pieces due to these organisms and animal activities. Okay. are due to this removal of the minerals and ions, okay, from the weathering environment, that is from the rock, and the physical changes due to growth or removal of organisms. So in biological weathering process, okay, sometimes a chemical weathering process is also taken place. That means chemical weathering process is enhanced, okay, accelerated by the biological weathering. And likewise, this mechanical weathering process is also helped by the biological weathering process. For example, burrowing and wazing by organisms like these earthworms, then termite, rodents, etc. help in exposing the new surfaces to chemical attack and assist in the penetration of moisture and the air. Okay, because of the action of burrowing animals, they will make holes in the rocks, they will make holes in the surface, and thus exposing new surface for chemical attack. And through these holes also water can be entered, and there may be further chemical attack. Okay, so some photographs are here. I think you may be familiar with this also. See here, see these animals, small animals are making holes in the surface rocks, okay, thus exposing new surfaces, okay. And likewise, see here, this is also action of the burrowing animals making hole in the rocks and thus helping weathering process, okay. And likewise, see here earthworms also, okay. And then here some other burrowing animals, they are also making holes in the rocks, thus leading to the breaking down of rocks. Then okay, see here, so many holes are made by these burrowing animal, termites and others. Thus through these holes water will be entered and thus leading to chemical attack, okay. Then human beings, by disturbing vegetation, then plowing and cultivating soils also help in mixing and creating new contacts between air, water, minerals in the earth materials. Human beings also, okay, by disturbing vegetation, by cutting the trees and by plowing the soils, okay, help in mixing and creating new contacts, okay, between the air, water and minerals in the earth material, thus leading to this chemical weathering process. Then decaying plant and animal matter help in this production of humic, carbonic and other acids, which enhance decay and the solubility of some elements. See, for example, see here, sometimes you may be seeing that on a stone, okay, you may be seeing growing of algae, okay, algae and mosses. You know, these algae and mosses release some kind of these acids, okay, some kind of acids, and this acid will attack this rock, thus leading to the chemical changes in the rock, or because of that chemical reaction, so this rock also may be breaking down into grains, okay. So in this way, these algae and the mosses also attack a big rock, and thus leading to the weathering process, okay. Then another one, plant roots exert a tremendous pressure on the earth material, mechanically breaking them into apart. See here, one more picture here. See, when the plant grows, okay, see here, so a plant is growing here, and when the plant grows, So the root will enter the cracks of the rock. See here, the root is penetrating the rocks, okay, through the cracks. And when this root grows, see here, when the root grows, then the joint or the crack is open up. Okay, so when these roots grows, then these cracks will be open up, and because of that the rocks will be broken. So we have some photographs relating with this. See here, because of the plant wazing, okay, because of the tree wazing, see here, the root is wazing into the stone, rock, and because of that the stone is broken. Okay, so in this way plants also help in the weathering process. This is what I call tree wazing. And another one is also here. Okay, so another one is also here. See, okay, no more. These are related with the burrowing animals. That is an example, okay, of the plant roots, action of plant roots in breaking down of these rocks. So in this way, these animals, burrowing animals, then small organisms, then earthworms, termites, rodents, human beings, then plants help in the breaking down of rocks, what we call biological weathering. Okay, so next we have some special effects of weathering. Okay, one of the most important special effects of weathering is known as exfoliation. Okay, exfoliation, you know, is peeling off of the rock. And about exfoliation we have already explained, okay, under the physical weathering process of unloading, then thermal contraction expansion process. Actually, see, exfoliation is a result but not a process. Okay, so exfoliation is a process of weathering process, is the ultimate result of weathering process. So plucking off of more or less curved sheets of cells from over the rocks or bedrock results in smooth and rounded surfaces, and this is what we call exfoliation. Okay, just see, let us say this is a big rock, and if due to thermal expansion and contraction, if a thin layer of the rock is peeled off, okay, like this, that is known as exfoliation, just like the peeling of the onion. Okay, that is called exfoliation. So I will show you one photograph. See here, I think you may be seeing these cells of the rock, okay, are peeling off, and this process is known as exfoliation. Okay, this process of peeling off from a rock is known as exfoliation, and this is due to thermal expansion and the contraction process. And exfoliation domes, okay, due to this expansion and contraction process, exfoliation domes and tores result due to this unloading and the thermal expansion that we have discussed earlier. Okay, exfoliation domes are formed due to unloading of the overlying rocks, and the tores are formed due to thermal expansion. So let me show you some photographs of these. This is what we call exfoliation dome. Okay, so this is a big dome, a big rock forming a dome, and see here, the surface is exfoliated. This is what we call exfoliation dome, and this is formed due to unloading process. The overlying rocks, okay, were removed due to erosion, and because of that pressure is released and the surface is peeling off, and this is known as exfoliation domes. And tores, actually, so these are tores. Okay, these piling up of stacks of rocks is known as tores, and so these are formed due to this thermal expansion and the contraction process. Okay, as mentioned here, thermal expansion, contraction. So this is what called tore. I think you may be seeing cracks here, cracks here, cracks here, here also. These are known as tores. And another photograph of tore is here. Okay, so all these rocks are broken into blocks due to thermal expansion, thus forming tores, a fissure known as tores. And another one is here. This is also an example of tore. Okay, so these are formed due to thermal expansion. When the rock is heated, it will be expanded. When the rock is cooled down, it will be contracted, and because of that, the rock will be broken into blocks. Okay, so up to here, any question, boys and girls?
No, sir.
Okay, then let us stop here for today, and don't forget to send your name in the WhatsApp group for attendance. Thank you very much for joining my class.
Only 30 minutes we are taking, just more time.